What's going on? JH556, Deborah E. Welcome, welcome to the after party, aftermath of my disaster filled falling asleep, not waking up on time day. And today is so hectic. Honestly, I couldn't remember what day of the week it was. I'm like, well, I know when I went to sleep it was Friday. Is it still Friday or was it Thursday? So, rough day. What's going on? F home to C. How you doing? Billy should be here. Backwoods should be here shortly. Anybody got any cool questions? Hey, Dusty, what's going on? Yeah, JH, you're right. After that rant I posted today and trying to explain things and people getting sideways, man, that shit that just wears on your mind. Yeah, I did need to sleep. The problem was it was only just a little nap because I laid down at like 6:30. I'm like, I'll take a quick nap. I'll get up at 7:30 and do the show. But I set my alarm, but I set it for 7:30 a.m., not 7:30 p.m. So I just happened to roll over, and Buddy actually woke me up. I think he knew I was late. He stepped on my chest and woke me up. I looked at the time. I was like, "Oh crap!" I looked at my phone, and I saw Emily was blowing me up. Uh, Homestead with Jess was blowing me up. Backwoods was blowing me up. But so I hopped up and splashed some water on my face, sat down behind the computer, and hit play. What's going on, Prepper 101? Christy Jennings, how are you? Well, this is technically an after party. I mean, I mean, this is a monetized live stream, so I'm behaving. So everybody, please behave, and you guys usually do. I'm usually the one that messes up. Once Backwoods gets here, we'll do our little spiel. We'll do the whole question and answer thing, and then we'll probably open the panel up for a couple people. I don't want to go any more than 6 up here at once, counting me, because then it seems to get crazy with nobody being able to talk. So we'll do it with like 4, 5, 6 people, maybe rotate through if you guys want to come on up here and chat in person. I don't know. To me, it's just easier to have, like right now when it's just me, I feel really weird talking to my computer like I need to go get some professional help. But when there's a face up here like interacting back at me, for some reason it registers in my mind a little bit better. Backwoods is cannon mustard, him and his mustard. Dude, I laughed so hard last night at those guys, and they were like, "Come on up here, Ghost." I'm like, "There's no way I'm touching that conversation. No, I'll sit right here in the chat and watch you guys do whatever it is y'all are doing." But they had fun, and I laughed so hard. That was hilarious. If you guys missed it, it was over on crap, Trusting God's channel. It was hilarious. Oh, Christy's got a graduation party. Congratulations. Yeah, you made the after party, SHTF. The actual stream started an hour late because I overslept. I took a nap and didn't wake up. But the actual stream, it was an hour late. It was a 2-hour stream. It was a really good stream. We did 3 little mini scenarios that were really, really relevant to everything that we're dealing with right now in this crazy times that we live in. Zah, what's going on? Zah, did you find out if I can mail rabbit poo through the mail? Because if I can mail it without going to jail, I'll bag it up and send it to you. I got plenty of it, man. Those rabbits, they are putting out some fertilizer, crazy amounts of fertilizer, and it works. I got video proof that it works. Yeah, that was funny, Zah. It was hilarious. Sorry, Milkmaid. I didn't even set up a notification for this one. I just clicked the go live button. You got lucky, Bug. You got lucky. Oh, so I can mail it if it's packaged properly. What does that mean? Packaged properly. I was just figuring I'd fill up a garbage bag full of it, tie it off real good so it didn't stink, and then put it in a box and stick a stamp on it and let it go. Because I am going to eventually sell it, but the way I've got my plan set up for my little homestead here is all the garden soil that I'm purchasing this year to put in the containers. I don't ever plan on buying dirt again. I'm going to take all this garden soil, and once I harvest the plants that are in the bucket, that bucket of dirt is going into my compost pile, where I'm going to be composting all the leftovers from the house, some cardboard, things like that. I'm gonna get some red wigglers in there, but I'm also gonna take all of my excess rabbit manure. It's gonna go in there and compost with it. So each year I'm just gonna re-amend the dirt, and I'll keep using the same dirt over and over again. And the compost pile along with the rabbit manure, I'm gonna have some supercharged dirt. But yeah, the way they're producing, I've only got 4 rabbits now, and I've got 10 times as much fertilizer as I need. And once they start breeding, which is going to start next month, um, it's gonna I'm gonna have a lot of rabbit manure. So yeah, I'm gonna start bagging it up and selling it. Yes, you do, Milk Maid. Dump truckload of manure. I hear you. Got caught in the downpour. I wish it would rain here. It hadn't rained here in about a week. I'd rather water my garden with rain than having to use the hose water, but I've got really good water here, so it's not that bad. Gardener Josh, yeah, Donnie, I'm not gonna do eggshells. What I'm gonna do is all the bones from the rabbits after I butcher them. I'm saving the bones, and I'm going to make me a massive grinder, and I'm gonna grind those bones into powder, as close to powder as possible, and all that's going into the compost pile. All the stuff from the rabbits, all the innards, the skins, everything, all that's going into the compost pile. And I'm gonna cook it for 6 months or so. I'm gonna try to get it on about a 6 month rotation because I'm gonna grow year round. So yeah, I'll get a lot of people use bone meal and blood meal. That's what I use in my plants and stuff when I put them in the ground, especially the potatoes. And instead of having to buy bone and blood meal, they're going to get the nutrients from the blood meal, from the innards from the rabbits, and they're going to get the nutrients from the bone meal from the actual bones that I grind up and throw in there. Yeah, Demeter, as soon as you get, I mean, you have to separate those baby rabbits once they're whew, just a few weeks old, maybe 7 weeks old. You need to go ahead and try to either separate them or something. At least the males from the females, because they try to figure it out early. If I missed anything, yeah. So what I'm figuring, I'm trying to be able to do my garden without ever having to purchase anything from the store. I don't want to ever have to get store bought fertilizer or bone meal or blood meal or any of that stuff. I want to just, and it can be done reusing the dirt and then amending it with the leftover rabbit bones, skin, blood, guts, and all, and random pieces of cardboard, throwing in some red wigglers, and I have all the leaves I could ever want. I can add to the compost pile back here in the woods and just kind of make my own dirt. I don't want to ever have to go to the store to buy anything for the garden or to eat, for that matter. In the future, I want to just be able to produce everything I have right here on the homestead. It's doable. It's a lot of hard work, but we'll figure it out. What do we got here? Yeah, you're right, Deborah. If I use, that's a great point, and I planned on doing that. Was is making my bone broth from the rabbit. Yeah, after I do the bone broth, that those bones will be nice and soft. They'll be easy to bust up. Hell, I probably wouldn't have to bust them up, but I'm going to because I want them to be in really small pieces because I want to be able to use the dirt immediately if I have to. All right, Christy, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. And it's so hard to keep up with this chat, and there's only 26 of you in here. You better make the candy party, Milk Maid. I got a special surprise. Can't tell you what it is. Yeah, Za is a looker, man. She's probably one of the prettiest rabbits I've ever seen. I'm gonna do an update video probably tomorrow on the rabbits and get you a close up view. But they've tripled in size since I got them just a little over a month ago, and her color is awesome. It's like light gray, and now she's almost got like white tiger stripes. She's gorgeous. I don't know, Bug Dude. I mean, everybody I've talked to, at least not everybody, but most of the people I've talked to that have rabbitries, they flat out say in their videos they take all the innards and everything and it goes into the compost pile. Uh, I'll do a little bit more research on it before I actually do it, but from what I've heard, it's fine. Now that'll be the long-term compost pile. That'll be the stuff that I'm going to cook for a while with, like the innards and stuff is going to go in a pile with the cardboard, the red wigglers, the leaves, any kind of grass clippings and stuff from the yard or whatever. That'll be the long term pile that it cooked down a little bit, and that'll be what I'll add in small amounts to the my reclaimed dirt that I mix in with it. So it'll be kind of like I don't know, it'll probably end up being different than I had it planned in my brain. But I wanted the stuff that needs to cook down for a little bit. I want to give it a start on one side and let it kind of slowly progress to the immediate dirt. I can just go out there and just get a shovel full right then and there and put it in the bucket and plant something. So I don't know, but I know red wigglers, man, those things make some awesome dirt. And then plus you're getting the worm castings in there too. Milkmaid. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. That was a different person. Northern Girl, I posted a thing in the community chat, but for the ghee, it's really simple. You need a strainer and a cheesecloth if you plan on pressure canning it and you want to get and you want to filter it. If you don't have a cheesecloth, not a big deal. You can just use a clean t-shirt or something if you want to filter it, but you don't have to. I'm going to pressure can some ghee tomorrow, but you don't have to pressure can it. It's just an option you can do. I've also learned that if when you put it in the jars and it's really, really hot and you seal it up, it will seal without pressure canning and it will still last 20 years on the shelf that way. So there are options. Plus, as soon as you make it, you can like not filter it and stick it straight in the fridge and use it. But strainer, cheesecloth, if you have it. If not, not a big deal. You can use a coffee filter, things like that. You're going to need a non-stick pot to melt down the butter. You're going to need a big spoon. I'm going to use a wooden spoon because once it starts to settle, the solids settle at the bottom. You don't want to scrape the bottom because then you're just mixing up the solids again. So I'm using a wooden spoon. You'll need the funnel and you'll need your pint jars. We're going pints, not quarts. You'll need your pint jars, clean, sterilized, and super, super dry. There doesn't need to be any moisture inside there whatsoever. You'll need your lids, your rings, your jar lifter, obviously a pressure canner, and some rags. It's a very, very, very simple process to do it. But if you can't find that list in the comment section, you can shoot me an email or just rewind this and listen to what I said slower. But yeah, you don't need much. What did I do? I lost the chat. Man, this thing goes fast. Wow, this thing goes really fast. Swiss chard, collard, mustard greens, and a few radishes. Nice, Josh. Yeah, I'm a noob. I did composting before. Actually, it was done on our garden, but I was a young child. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't pay attention. Nice. Well, they buried some deer and they pretty much decomposted completely in the wood chips. Awesome, awesome. So I know they do break down, and I know you can compost with them. I just don't know how long the process takes. Apparently, about a year. But I'm sure that like the rabbit parts are going to compost down quicker because it will just be the innards, and then I'll have the bones inside, and they'll be softened before they go in the pile. So it should speed it up. I'm thinking 6 months max. It should be good to go. I mean, if you can bury a dead fish under a plant like the old Native Americans used to do, that works really, really well. And the composting process is happening firsthand. Compost your enemies, kind of like that. I like that. That'd be a cool T-shirt. Yeah, you need butter, Northern Girl, and it's approximately 1 pound of butter per pint jar. So if you just want to do a few, I mean, you can do one. You can just go get 4 sticks of butter and you can just can 1 jar of ghee if you want to, and then throw it in the fridge and see if you like it. And if you do, then you can buttloads of it. It can be salted or unsalted. From the research I've done, the only reason people add salt to butter in the stores is because salt's a preservative. And if it's just sweet cream butter, it'll last X amount of days on the shelf. If it's sweet cream butter and it's salted, then it'll last a considerable amount of time longer because of the salt. Now, when you're cooking it down to make ghee, all the solids are falling to the bottom and it's cooking away. So what I've been told is that if you cook down a pound of sweet cream unsalted butter versus a pound of sweet cream salted butter, the volume that you have in the end of ghee is less with the salted butter. So you lose a little bit more in the volume. But I mean, I'm canning salted butter because that's what I found on sale. So that's what I got. Yeah, it'll be pint jars. Yep, we'll be starting from the beginning. We'll be starting from unwrapping the. Well, I'm going to pull the I'm going to sit the butter on my counter for a couple of hours, let it come to room temperature so it's nice and soft before I start melting it, just because it will speed up the process. But you don't have to do it that way. Yep, we'll be starting with butter. We'll be cooking it down, making the ghee. Then we'll be putting it into jars. If you want to can it, you can. I'm going to just because it's part of the process. Simply because we can literally make ghee in about 20 minutes, and that's going to make for a really short live stream. So I plan on going through the entire canning process because I've got like 18 pounds of butter, so I'm going to have several jars. Yeah, John T. You got a lot of friends. It's the my laptop camera. The live stream earlier I did on my cell phone, and it like completely drained the battery down to 2%. So right now it's on the charger. If it gets any harder to hear me, you guys let me know. I'll lean in closer. But in another 20 minutes or so, my phone will be charged up, and I can just kind of switch the stream over to my phone where you guys can hear me better. Hopefully, my mic comes in the mail uh, soon. I've been trying to go to Walmart to get one. They have like no. I don't know what happened. They're like computer supplies, streaming aisle. They used to have an aisle full of stuff. Now it's like everybody's apparently everybody joined YouTube and everybody on the planet streaming now. So there's the stuff just wasn't there. Hey Sherry Leach, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. I haven't ordered it yet, John. I said it was there. I'm looking at one on Amazon, a kit that comes with the big old mic and all that stuff. I haven't pushed go on it yet because I thought I could just go down the road to Walmart and get one, but that hasn't seemed to be working out. So I'm probably going to pull the trigger on that tomorrow and just go ahead and get the kit from Walmart. I just hate having to do all this stuff. I just wanted to maybe just get a webcam to hook up on here where the reception and the voice is better. But I'll have to figure it out tomorrow, hopefully. How about Alexander? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Everybody hear that? Emily just posted because people that were wanting to join the membership club on an Apple device, they're having a hard time or not even being able to find the join button. So Emily's been working on it for the last 2 days. Thank goodness she figured it out so she can tell you how to do it. Yeah, it's still cooking, but pretty sure me is green though. Okay. Bulldogs in the house. Oh yeah, John. I'm glad you brought that up. Supply chain is breaking down from China. China is the supply chain. Okay, that's where 80% of the products are made. That's where all the labor is. They own the boats that the stuff's shipped in. They own the containers that go on the boats that the stuff is shipped in. They own the crews that they put on the boats to ship the stuff. They even own the ports that the stuff is being shipped into in several countries around the world. So China literally can flip a switch and turn the lights off for a lot of people if they want to. That's a scary, scary thought. Yeah, Bug. Emily said she figured it out. She's got a workaround. She'll share with you guys. Backwood, you coming up here or what? There you go, Backwoods. I just dropped the link in for you. Northern Girl, how you doing? I just dropped it in the chat, Backwoods. It's right there. Boom.
Sorry, that other one that you had sent me earlier for the after party or whatever, it kept showing error.
Oh yeah, that one I disabled that one.
I got you.
Because I went past the time, so it was just easier just to disable it, and I just went on live this way.
Right on, right on. So yeah, I had to. So I had to. My daughter. That's why I was kind of late. Excuse me. That's why I was kind of late. I had to talk with my daughter, and she's wanting to go do some stuff tomorrow, and so I'm just trying to catch up with some chat with my daughter for a little bit.
Well, after my day, I can't complain about anybody being late. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Ghost, I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing a little research on for Sunday night about people.
About what?
People.
Okay.
And doing a live stream on about people. Just in general, different ways that they act, different ways to, know when someone means harm, different, you know what I'm saying? Just people in general, people that have useful skills, things like that. And I don't know. I was thinking about doing something about people.
Makes sense. That'd be a good one. That'll be a deep conversation.
It can be. I'll have to do a lot of studying on that one though, because I'm gonna have to find the right words, because if I just explain a lot of different people, certain people in my way, I might get in trouble. People would be like, "What in the world what's wrong with this guy?"
Oh, man. He's got issues.
I'm telling you. I don't know, man. Just demeanor, all that stuff, man. Just different things about people. I think we could talk quite a bit about that,
Demeanor, mannerisms.
Yeah.
Attitude towards other people. How your attitudes change when you're around different groups and different kinds of people.
Yep.
The pretenders,
Well, I don't know. It's just, I like to try to make people think in their minds, to prepare them in a mental kind of way and help with that. Cause I prepare myself while I'm doing this, you know what I'm saying? So, it's not like I've got it all figured out, cause I don't. I'm just saying, it helps me to, to get the conversation going with other people and start to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Learn stuff, man.
Kind of a cool one. Well, I told him earlier in the chat that I'd open up the the panel, we, you know, bring on, you know, a couple, 2 or 3 at a time, not get really, really crowded. We don't want to be overstepping each other and interrupting and all that good stuff, have the place erupt into chaos. But so we can do that. If any of you guys want to hop in here and say hello and pose a question, or, you know, pump your channel, or whatever you want to do. So if anybody wants to come up here, I'll drop the link in the chat. Just remember, we are monetized, so we got to behave. We got to use the big boy words. Let me tell you something. If
Northern Girls.
What?
Northern Girls.
Yeah.
Who is she talking about?
I don't know.
Why aren't you two in my collab? Because you ain't subbed?
All right. Do you mean the book thing, the book club thing?
No, she's got a collab video going on. She's been making, and I don't know who she's talking about, because I am subbed. Unless YouTube is, I am, me too, unless YouTube is unsubbed me.
Yeah, I'm subbed. I've been subbed for a while.
I seen her video post today, and I hadn't had time to watch it. I put it on a little playlist. I've got a little private playlist that I put some of you guys' videos on, man, because god dang, man, I've been working a bunch, dude. I mean, you know, it's that time of year, and it is hard to keep up with people's videos. So I don't know who.
Since like, oh my god, since probably my 3rd week on YouTube.
Yeah, and don't tell me about it. I even got a video on my channel where I'm shouting her out like, why ain't y'all watching Northern Girls?
You know what? I wonder if they unsubbed me. I'm gonna check real quick.
That's what I'm checking too. Cause I know I'm subbed. So she better not be talking about me. I'll kick her tail.
It ain't even bringing her up in the URL search.
Girl, just cause you in Canada don't mean I can't drive up there and give you a butt kicking.
This is weird, man. It's not even showing up. Like, I typed in Northern Girl Hobbies into the search bar, and it's not even pulling anything up.
Well, I just got, like I said, I just got a reminder of a video. Okay. I stuck it off in a yeah, right here.
Yeah, I'm subscribed. I found it. I'm subscribed.
I know they bury her, man. It's really kind of pissy that they.
Oh, I use Texas. Well, anyway, I'm still subbed to her. I haven't been unsubbed. She's still there. That tells you how long ago I subbed to her. I had to go all the way down to the bottom of my list.
Yeah, she. Yep, subscribed and the bell notification is turned on.
There are 12 of us collaborating on a video already. A few stragglers sending goods tomorrow. Well, I'll have to see what kind of. I'll look into that.
Yeah, so. Anyway.
Does anybody want to come up here and hang out with 2 old gray-haired dudes?
Come on in. I promise it won't get weird. It's just Ghost and I.
Who y'all talking about? I know where to get my Avon. Yeah, I've been unsubbed from Monogram's channel multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, the day after he came on here and announced to the world that he was my son, the next day I was unsubbed.
Zane, I wanted to ask about putting in a wood burning stove in my house.
Well, there's the man to teach you.
Well, I mean, really, you just, you know, you don't want to, you definitely, I mean, if you put it in if you have carpet and you want to put it in that area, you're going to have some metal to put down a good size, you know, some kind of, you know, maybe even if you want to really get fancy, you can cut the carpet up and put strip around it, and then, you know, put you some kind of a real nice stone or, you know, some kind of rugged looking floor, you know, like some old stone and stuff, man, that'd be really pretty. And then you know, just I think my particular wood burning stove is it's got to be 12 inches off the wall, and I've checked it multiple times, and it if it's about 12 inches off the wall, it will not get the wall hot. And you've got a double wall pipe that goes through the roof or the side if you want to go through the side of your house. I went through the side of my shop building because I just did not want to cut a hole in the roof, you know, and I would do the same in my house. But when you run it out the side like that, you want to make sure that you get a good clearance off your eave there, off where your house, you know, your roof comes down and stops. You want to get about a 2.5, 3 foot clearance. Depending on everything is going to depend on how your house is set up, where your fireplace comes out, you know, where your flue comes out, because you want to make sure that it gets a good draft, because I didn't set mine high enough at first, and I had to add one more piece of flue pipe to it. And what was happening is it didn't want to get that draw going until it got really hot. Then it would get a good draw going. So I added another piece to my deal, and now it gets a good draw because it's high enough up, because where I've got it, it's kind of like in a corridor there. So it's high enough up now that it can get that airflow and get a draft, and it works very well. And if you want to know more, I can tell you more of what I did. But you got to have double wall pipe when you go through. You should have double wall pipe. Let's just put it that way. There are people that don't have double wall pipe, and you can get inserts that actually go into the wall that you can run your pipe through and all that. And some people just stick it out, just go through the deal with single wall pipe, and that's the way they do it. But for safety, I would say do a double wall or one of them inserts to go out. And me, I prefer to go out the side. I do not like cutting holes in my roof, no more than I need, no more than I have to have. And you can go out the side of your wall and up, you know, up your roof line there too. So that's me.
Yeah, I've even seen kits that come with kits that do window inserts. So you can just replace the window. And it's fireproof and treated. It's a kit that comes with the diameter of your stovepipe. And it comes out of your stove, takes a 90 and goes through the window where the window used to be, and then goes up and shoots out. What's going on, SHTF Engineering? Welcome to the room. And we also have the Dog Trapper. What's going on, Dusty?
Dusty.
What's up, guys?
Just trying to show off my new hat.
Heck yeah.
Come in handy today in that rain.
Hey.
It's not as windy as it was the last time I saw you on the live stream. It almost blew you off the porch.
Yeah, man, a big old limb fell out of my tree about 2 minutes after I got up from here and went inside and smashed my canopy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about 10 foot long.
Good timing. Really good timing.
Yeah.
Dusty, man, your setup's looking top notch, brother. I'm jealous.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Danny worked really hard on it.
It's looking good. It's looking good, man. How many monitors you got?
8.
Holy.
I'm watching you on this screen. I've got the security cameras up here with 8 screens on it, and I got these 4 screens here, and then I got 8 more behind me. I'm watching everybody.
Attacking the planet. Dusty's getting it done.
It's like that Batman phone on that movie.
Yeah, but the strange thing is we got this all built, man, and I haven't even really turned it on. I've been outside enjoying this weather we've had here, man. But it got pretty hot these days, past couple days, though.
Yeah, but the strange thing is we got this all built, man, and I haven't even really turned it on. I've been outside.
Echo, Stuart. There we go.
Yep. What's up, Stuart? Hadn't seen his face in a while. Seen him in all the chats, but I just hadn't seen your face in a while. What's up, brother?
Howdy, brother. Sorry about the echo. It's been a minute.
No
It's all
problem.
right.
Just wanted to say hi. Let y'all know I'm a real person.
Nice to meet you in person, brother. Yeah, I always see you in the chat, man. It's good. Every time I'm on, I see you somewhere, either in my room, backwoods room. I see you everywhere. It's always good to put a face.
That's my neighbor over there.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's down the road, and we're gonna get together one of these days.
Yeah.
Is that my echo?
I don't hear one.
I don't hear one.
Probably me. Hold on. Get my volume.
I got my earpiece in, so I learned that one the first time around.
Hey, man, welcome to the chat. I just seen you pop up. I don't know how long you've been there, but hello.
So yeah, it's been a minute for me, man. I've lost track of time really completely, man. I didn't even realize it's been as long as it's been. But I've been enjoying hanging out with the grandkid, man. She's getting a lot of swimming lessons in. Y'all get to see where I went swimming, so
Looked like you just jumped out of the pool.
no. I'm just greasy.
Man,
I'm just barely starting to dry off.
Right?
No, I got a 300-gallon stock tank set up for me this summer if we go through some rolling blackouts, because it's going to be bad if we get some heat.
Yeah.
And the power just cuts out. I'm going to save my generator and my gas, because I think Bagwood's got the same generator I got, that Sportsman, I think.
All right.
Yep.
4,000. It's the surge watt, so you got to watch that. It's 4,000 surge watt.
Yeah, it's 3,500 continuous.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can always charge a battery up with it, and then run the batteries.
Yeah.
If you needed to in an emergency. I've done that with man, it was a lot of hurricanes. I took my shrimping equipment out, and I used all the DC bulbs, all DC powered fans and stuff like that.
Well, you can actually, if you're good on gas, and you have a blackout for a couple of 3 days, and you're going to be using some batteries, you can also start your vehicle up and use a set of jumper cables and run the battery you want to charge up. It will sit there and charge your battery.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to use a vehicle as a generator,
Sure.
you need to double up on that fuel burning, because when it's idling, it's using a consistent amount of gas. So you can take like those power inverters that I showed in that one video. That's it. I got a 150 watt, 2 of those, and I got a 200 watt. Take those, plug 2 of them into your cigarette lighter, get a set of jumper cables, and plug the other one directly to your battery while your car's running. It's going to use the same amount of gas, but now you're getting an extra 1,800 watts that you can power other things off of in your house, as well. But yeah, so I mean, I plug up, if I'm gonna run the car as a Jenny and use it, I'm gonna use more than one inverter. I'm gonna use all of them inverters. All of them. I'm not gonna just get them from both ends as much as
Yeah. So how you want to do this? Are we going to raise our hand if we have something to say so we don't step on each other?
Yeah, raise your hand.
Oh, okay.
Well, that ain't gonna work for me. As soon as I started the stream, it's froze up. So
Raise your hand to say something, Dusty.
Oh.
All right, Dusty. We got you.
Dark prepper, you have the floor.
All right. Yeah. Because I was going on about that earlier.
So I just wanted to say, go ahead.
Yeah, get you a good 300-gallon, 100-gallon stock tank, and you can jump in that and cool off. It really does make the difference,
Oh, yeah.
If you're outside working, man, you're mowing the grass, dude, you get a little stock tank and you fill it up with water, maybe every 2 days or something, empty it out, or hell, if you want to put chlorine in it, let your animals drink out of it, I guess, but you can cool off and not have a heat stroke, because I've pushed my body that hard before in July, putting swimming pools in, and it's not a happy thing. Your whole body cramping up.
Oh, I've had a heat stroke. I had one in Panama, and it stays with you for the rest of your life. You go that far down the hole, and you can recover, but you never get that tolerance back. Like right now in the heat, I'm weak, brother. I drink nothing but water, and I drink a lot of it just to function in the heat outside. I don't do it very well, not anymore.
Yeah.
See, I'm just the opposite. The hotter it gets, the better I go, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to
It's
be that
weird.
way. I used to be that way until I had to. I was in the hospital for 4 days with a heat stroke, bro. I had IVs in both arms and both legs, and a
Damn.
thermometer where there shouldn't be a thermometer. But yeah, it'll take the life right out of you. It took me
Yeah.
months to recover, and to this day, if I go out in the sun and it's beaming down hot, I'm pounding gallons of water a day to stay hydrated. It does something to your system, like it damages your system. I don't know if it's called endocrine system, whatever system it is that keeps you cool. Like something about having a heat stroke, it damages your system, and you never really fully get back to where you were as far as your tolerance for the heat.
I gotta say something. I gotta say hello to our lovely brother and sister Wayne and them over there and Homestead Oz, Wayne and Lynn, and
Yep.
wanted to say hello to y'all, and I'm gonna try this. Good day, mate. How are
Okay.
you? Good day.
Hold on. Here, let me flip this hat up here.
There you
Just
go.
messing with y'all. Shoot.
Now talk
No,
about
my
heat.
computer
They have the tolerance there in Australia.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I guarantee you. I love them two people, man. They've got some really just cool, down to earth, old fashioned type. You know, I mean that fencing that Wayne's doing out there, dude. That's freaking dude. He's got the fencing down. That stuff looks good, man. You know, because anybody can put a fence up, but putting a fence up straight and tight and neat, dude, it takes some work, man. You got to know what you're doing.
You ain't kidding. I'm embarrassed by the way mine looks. I didn't put no concrete in these little pee-wee poles, so all this sand here gave way when I started stretching it, and I let it loose off the trailer hitch. That sucker let go. And I was, oh man, look at all that slack. I'm having to put some boards in between it now to straighten it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I spent a lot of time putting mine up too. I made a video for it, but I accidentally got my mailbox in it, so I deleted the damn video instead of editing it. Now that I have an editor, but I got to reshoot it.
I gotta put the fence. I'm trying to decide what kind and what type. I was gonna do on the sides of a privacy fence versus I was debating doing all wood and going about 9 feet high with a privacy fence versus chain link. I'm leaning towards the privacy part because I just like that word privacy. You know what I mean? So I'm may do that route, but with the price of wood right now, it's like, whoa, hold on, hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm even my next option. I'm researching those barrier trees, those trees that grow like 3 to 5 foot a year, and you can literally make a wall with these trees. You can put up a fence. I mean, you can plant them like 2, 3 feet apart, even closer than that. And I don't know what the trees are called, but there's several different kinds that you can do that with, and just plant those up. And then along the bottom, I could put hog wire, chicken wire, and just something there to keep the animals from crossing in and out. Or I was even thinking about in between the trees, once they get 5, 6 feet high, you'll have that little gap, that little triangle in between each tree. I was thinking about coming in there with something that's with different kind of plants that are shade tolerant, like maybe some blackberries or blueberries or something that run, and just fill in those spaces with some fixtures that'll make everybody stop when they try to go through it. You know what I mean? Because those blackberries and blueberries, they'll run all up in there. They
There you
be
go.
pretty good.
Yeah, I couldn't afford that lumber, man. I had to build, I don't know, about 800 feet of fence, and I couldn't afford those posts. So I looked around and I found drill stem pipe was about the cheapest material, and it's strong as hell. So I mean, that's what I used. I just cut up a bunch of drill stem pipe and used that, and buried all of it 3 foot in the ground with 2 bags of concrete each. And it's anti-vehicle, anti-personnel too. I put me a horse fence around the whole thing.
I'm like my little homestead area here. I'm trying to make it obviously self-sufficient. You know what I mean? We had a long talk earlier. I don't know if all you guys were here about my composting with the rabbit manure and using every single part of the rabbit to go back into the garden and having this circle thing going on. because I don't ever want to buy dirt again. And I don't ever want to have to buy amendments, any kind of fertilizers, things like that. I get all that from a rabbit, entire rabbit. You know what I mean? The manure, using the bones, using the organs for the blood meal. And so I want to get that loop going while it's producing meat for me. But why not go ahead and take it a step further, and instead of worrying about building this expensive fence that's just going to sit there and do nothing but be a fence, why not make it a living fence? You know, plant something, you know, make this natural barrier that looks good. And here's the thing, there ain't no county or city ordinances that go about, like they'll say you can only have a 6-foot high fence behind your house in your home HOA kind of thing, but they don't regulate the trees that you plant. So make your fence out of trees and go as high as the tree goes.
Yeah, there you go. That'll slow them zombies down.
Plant your blueberries and raspberries and blackberries all up in there, and now you're getting, you know, a living fence that you're basically eating your fence. Your fence is feeding you.
Right. Plus the thorns might keep some of the critters out too, eh?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. The blackberries down low, get those thorns going, and kind of just make a natural barrier, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you do know that Doomsday Prepper had an episode where this couple was making their own pepper spray, and they did it right, and they basically pepper sprayed themselves in the house by cooking it in the house.
Oh yeah.
It bled through what they were wearing for goggles.
Oh my God, yeah. All the videos I've watched when they're making the pepper spray, MHP Gardner did it. It's outside, and he was still getting stomped. He was using ghost peppers, you know, and he was outside, masked up thing, and he was still getting gassed. And he was outside with the wind blowing, so that pepper juice, that stuff ain't no joke. And that's all I'm going to use on my plants as far as insects stuff. And knock on wood, I ain't had an issue at all, not one out of any insects yet. So hopefully that stays. But I need.
Yeah, but they actually also in that show they were showing how they were growing, like you're talking about, the different plants that actually will grow together with all the basically make a thicket so nothing can get in.
Yeah,
and that's what they were doing in that episode. So they actually give some pretty good ideas toward the bigger plants, all the way down to the smaller varieties that grow good together.
Yeah, I mean, I remember growing up as a kid running through the woods, man. If you ran up on a thicket, you made a detour. I don't care how much of a hurry you were in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. You do not do. You don't mess with the thicket at all.
Yeah. You know, well, I don't really have too much big thicket stuff that'll grow. I mean, here that other than weeds, so I could do cactuses, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, literally, those thickets, when they're good and thick, and we had them at my house on the perimeter garden. If you were in the yard, say, playing basketball, and it bounced over into the thicket, the very next response after you looked at each other was, well, we got to go get a new ball because we ain't going in there to get it. It's that ball's done. You might as well have thrown it off the side of the aircraft carrier. It's deep 6. You need a new basketball. You ain't going to get that one.
Yeah. Yeah. My uncle just cruised through some woods out there by his house out in Missouri, and he run through a thicket, and he had 4 flat tires, man, when he come out of there. So they got some pretty good stuff up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Finally stayed in the hotel for 2 nights. She dehydrated onion, garlic in the house. Yes, the smell. And those are my two favorite. Those are my 2 favorite seasonings: onions and garlic. As long as I got onions and garlic, I can eat anything. Dude, I remember you talking about thickets and stuff. When I was stationed in Panama, the country of Panama, in the jungle. They have a tree. You guys can research this. It'll blow your mind. It's called a black palm tree. BALM, black palm tree. This tree grows all over the place in Panama and in other countries, I'm sure. But the tree itself is almost a perfect straight tree from what I remember. But it has these thorns that grow out of it at a perfect 90 degrees. And the tip of these thorns is microscopic. Now they're so brittle you can blow on them and they'll break. They'll penetrate the leather of your boot. And I accidentally bumped into one and hit it with the side of my arm and my hand. And these little thorns, I guess you call them, burrs, whatever, they break off into your skin. They're so brittle, they just break off. And you can't get them out, bro. You have to let them. Your body basically has to push them out. They kind of grow out over time, and it's like getting stuck by a porcupine, but not being able to get the quill out. And it's, I mean, it hurts. It's like a whole bunch of pimples that are on fire. It's painful.
That's terrible.
Believe it or not, you're about to see this in the next couple months. Whenever shrimps decide to start running, you're going to see me all cut up, man, because them shrimp, they hurt like crazy. You catch them. They got the on the one end, they got a little stabber, and on the tail end, believe it or not, it's got a wide, like almost like a blade. So it's just sitting there. It can stab you when it pinches, and that's how they flip around and run.
Yeah, milkmaid. That's how I start a whole lot of my meals, like my chili, my spaghetti, my goulash, my collard greens, my fried cabbage. I start with minced garlic. First, I caramelize the onions. Once I get them good and caramelized, then I throw in the minced garlic, and I get, man, that's the best smell in the world. Then I add the food. A lot of people mess up. They don't do the onions the way they got to do the onions first. A lot of people add the onions later, and they're all crunchy. They don't get a chance to break down and season the food. You might as well just have a slice of raw onion on your plate and take a bite of it.
Hey, I wanted to share something with y'all real quick, man. You know how we had that freeze down here? Well, everywhere, but down here we're not used to that crap, and all of our stuff died.
Yeah.
I had one that came back. I wanted to show you, and I can't even find these at the store no more. You recognize that one?
Kind of blurry. What is that?
There. Citronella.
Citronella, okay.
Yeah, it came back. It was, I thought it was done, man. It froze to the ground. But it came back after we had all this big rain about a week ago. It started coming back up, and that's just already like almost a foot tall.
Yeah, the milkmaid agrees with me. You got to caramelize them onions, man. Makes you want to smack your grandma. Actually, it was my grandma that was the one that taught me how to do that. Yeah, ain't nothing better than caramelized onions, man. You can put that on. You can put caramelized onions on anything. You put caramelized onions on ice cream, and it'll be good. It'll be onion ice cream. You'll be like, man, that is some good stuff. What is that, caramelized onion? I put it on everything. It's really good in eggs. Like when people make omelets, they do it wrong. Like the only thing on the omelet that needs to be cold and crunchy is the tomatoes. You know what I mean? That goes on like last, like after the cheese. I like tomatoes like nice and cold and crunchy. But like the onions, man, caramelize them onions first, them onions and peppers, and then put them in your omelet or in your egg.
That getting me hungry. I'm gonna go break out them cast iron skillets I've been seasoning.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like even my Philly cheesesteaks, man. When I make those at home, I do them at home from scratch. I do it all, the whole mess. Everything gets caramelized. Then it goes in with the meat. Then it goes in the bun with the whole. I love the tomatoes on there, but the tomatoes, them bad boys are still in the refrigerator. They're chopped up nice and cold, and they go on top of that sandwich. That's just, to me, that's the way a tomato should be eaten, nice and cold.
Well, here's a little challenge for anybody that's listening and wants to help out, man. I'm looking for a garlic bread recipe, a good one. I got my bread maker out, so I'm going to start. We've already started making a couple loaves. We did a 2-pound loaf and a 1-pound loaf, and it was just regular white bread. So what I'm looking for is a good garlic bread recipe. So if anybody's got one, make a video.
I know. Man, I want to make it right now. Art Wildman, what's going on? Amendment 1 preparedness. What's going on? Welcome to the room, guys. This is the after party from the pre-chat. And if y'all didn't miss it, we were an hour late, and it was my fault. I laid down to take a little hour nap today and set my alarm to wake me up at 7:30 a.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. So I woke up. I was an hour late, and everybody waited. It was awesome.
Very patiently too.
Yeah. I think everybody just wanted to make sure I was still alive and kicking. They were waiting on like a emergency broadcast. You know, something happened to Ghost.
He done got pissed off and gave the rabbits the laptop, and they're out there fucking with the channel now. Oh, excuse me.
That rant this morning took a lot out of me, I guess. Ghost Snapper. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Bug. Ghost Snapper. Where in the world did Backwoods go? I saw him get a phone call and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, I was going back and watching some of Backwoods fishing videos, man. It's got me really going right now. I was looking at there was actually some, I'm not sure exactly which bass they were. There was bass, mullet, and another species in that video I made.
Yeah.
Because it was right off of the St. Johns River there in the Ocala National Forest, and it was actually free flowing out.
Oh, nice.
So you can go fishing, but you got to be on the other side of the little barrier they got out there, the little pontoons or whatnot.
Hello, Rose. Now, I read somewhere when I lived in Florida that you can get on a jet ski like in Jacksonville and head south, and you can actually stay on the water and get all the way to Okeechobee. Is that true? I think it's even further.
I don't.
I think it goes all the way down to the Everglades.
It stops at Little Lake George. It splits off in Little Lake George up north of Volusia, and then right at the Volusia line, it stops there. And there's another piece of it that goes all the way down near Indian Springs almost.
Yeah, somebody told me that you can literally get on a jet ski. You can't do it in a boat.
Right. You might be able to. There's a lot. That's a lot of swampland in there, man. I've been in some little spots with one of the little Skeeter bass boats.
Like the way he told me, because he's done it. He's like, dude, you can literally get on a jet ski like in Jacksonville, and you can head it south and go, and you literally you'll hit ocean, you'll hit Everglades. You know, you can I guess it makes sense. It's a lot of little swamps and waterways that ain't even on a map. They're seasonal. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This is doable.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't try it though, because it's probably riddled with gators, man. And right now, anacondas and.
Oh yeah. And one thing that blew my mind was I was in school down there, and I was taking a geology class, and I mean I knew that Florida sits on top of one of the largest aquifers in the world, freshwater aquifers in the world. What I didn't know is how the cave structure works underneath Florida. Like you can literally get down into one of those sinkholes. They're lakes now. That's why Lakeland got its name. Those ain't lakes. Those are filled in sinkholes that are full of water now. But like they don't have a bottom. And you can there's guys on this video. It's on YouTube. There's a guy and his partner, and they were but one of them was a trained diver. He put his gear on and got down in one of the lakes somewhere, went into the tunnel, and the guy on top had a GPS receiver. The diver had a GPS locator, and he's following him on land on a motorcycle. And as he's swimming through these caverns, right, and they're walking through town. This guy's going through town. He's showing on his receiver how he's swimming underneath the laundromat. Now he's underneath the Circle K. Now he just talked about Walmart at 70. And then he surfaces at a farm like 5 miles down the road, through the middle of town. People don't realize it. They're like, how do these sinkholes happen? Well, they happen because as limestone gives way and it just collapses. And there's a massive cave system that runs all through Florida. Crazy. It's like freaky scary. There's cars and stuff down there.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch of sinkholes in my area because we did this area was sand mined back in the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of sinkholes left from them, sand mining on the opposite side. It caused it to collapse over here. Once they hit the water over this side, man, it's beautiful turquoise though.
Oh yeah.
And I've got my first or second video I've got on there, what to do now on my channel. I go to a place and it has a cave system that goes down in there pretty far. And a lot of scuba divers go down there to train. And it's in High Springs on the other side of Alachua.
Is that the place that got the swimming hole, the underground swimming hole? With the dock and all that stuff? Yeah, that place is awesome. It's got like a cave you go down into and a wooden walkway and the ladder system that just goes like right down into the water, and you can literally see forever.
Believe it or not, I've run across people before in my life and I went to their house, and they're like, "Hey, nobody knows about this, but a sandstone cave opened up behind our house, and there's a cave system opens up, and it's beautiful, crystal clear water, in their backyard." I'm like, "Wow, I wouldn't tell nobody about this."
No, I wouldn't tell anybody. That's my own privacy home. But that place, hey, Lake Perry, that place I was talking about, it's a popular swimming hole where people hang out or whatever. But it's not just a cave that opens up on the surface and you can look down and see the water. It's a cave system you have to literally walk into, and then you go down underground to get to the water. And that cavern that you're in, it stays at like year round at like 68 degrees nonstop. The temperature does not fluctuate up or down, winter or summer.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The water that I'm at in the video is 72 degrees all year round.
Right.
So if you're freezing outside to jump in that water, it's still cold, but it's warmer than outside. But it never really gets that cold in Florida. So.
Yeah. Side note made.
Yeah, they got some. They got some of those in the Guadalupe River, not too far from me. They got some caves that go down into the spring. And if you got scuba gear and whatnot, you can go in there, but they don't recommend it. Because it opens up into a big cavern underneath there, and there's a whole bunch of small little offshoots, and they all kind of look the same if you get turned around. There's a lot of people died in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to have some bravery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that stuff's collapsing like nonstop. I mean, and the video it showed him because the diver had a camera on as well, and it showed him, swimming. But I mean, there was furniture down there. He's like a couple 100 feet below ground level. There's like furniture, cars, parts of houses, carcasses, animal carcasses like dog bones and stuff. I mean, everything you can think of. Because when these sinkholes open up, whatever's where they are, it goes down there, and then it's like you get swallowed up by a sinkhole. Now you're in an underground river, getting thrown downstream here, there, wherever it's going. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere down there. It's like cars and name it, it's down there. Barbecue grills, chairs, shoes. I mean,
that sounds like that place. Yeah, like that place down in Belize. It's got an airplane in the bottom of it. You seen that one? Yeah, they got a sinkhole there. I think it's 300 foot deep, and there's an airplane in the bottom of it.
Well, that sinkhole in Florida, I'm sure Dusty's seen it. It's been going on for
the Florida nation.
Now. There's one over in Pasco County that's right off the main road, and that's like that's that sinkhole. They've tried to cover it and fill it in. It's been going on for well over a year now. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's right by Walmart.
Okay, because there's actually several of them. One did swallow a house. One swallowed. Oh man, I think it was a guy in his house. He was in his house when he swallowed it.
4 years ago. Yeah, it took him and it was the couple. It was their uncle, or it was the husband's brother. He was had temporarily moved in with them, and so they moved their kids out of the guest room and put him in the guest room. And one night he was in bed and they heard this crazy noise, and they opened up the bedroom door and there's this big hole, and him in the bed or in the bottom of it, and they couldn't rescue him. He ended up, they couldn't find him, and they ended up filling it in eventually. But yeah, it was crazy. He just swallowed him up in the bed while he was sleeping.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's got to be a bad way to go. You know what I mean? I would not.
That's one of them real bad luck situations. Like if you were at Hiroshima and you looked up and go, man, today's going to be terrible.
Right.
I've been watching these videos lately. Countdown to Zero. Have you ever seen that one? It's on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half long. It's a video documentary about our nuclear problems and how long they've lasted.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yep. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. It's very enlightening. Very enlightening. I even told my friend, I was like, we could do that here. The only problem we'd have would be getting the main thing. we could do it. It's not that sophisticated. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the biggest thing I worry about.
Yeah. Everybody does all these SHTF scenario situations. Here's the thing. If the grid goes down, like somebody just a few hundred miles in the air above Kansas, and like the entire grid went down for North America. We're screwed. Not because we don't have power, not because it's going to take a long time to get it going, because there are how many dozens of nuclear reactors located all throughout America that without power, I mean, now they're going to be pumping truckloads of jet fuel and everything there to keep those generators running. But I mean, if it's a serious where you're going to have meltdowns coming, there ain't nothing needed to stop that. I mean, so if you weren't smart enough to build your nuclear reactor by a free-flowing river where you get cool water exchange without any energy, you're an idiot. They literally built a nuclear reactor in the middle of a desert in Arizona.
Yep.
Right. Well, it's like the ones we had here. The cooling tanks froze over. They didn't even talk about that hardly at all. But that was one of the major things.
Where was that?
Have to be
Texas?
submerged in a 40-gallon tank for decades and decades and decades before they cool down enough to where they can be put into a container for long-term storage. I mean, you're talking, so if the grid goes down, every single reactor that we have is going to have to be top priority to slowly shut them down. But here's the thing, shutting them down, it ain't like flipping a light switch. When you're taking a nuclear reactor offline, the stuff is still hot for decades, hundreds and hundreds of years. You've got to keep that stuff cool, even though you're not using it. Because once that reaction starts, you can't stop it until the fuel is used up, and that takes hundreds of years. So if the grid goes down, number one priority is it ain't gonna be feeding America and getting schools back online and getting the internet working. It's gonna be get the gasoline trucks rolling. Number one, we got to figure out a way to come up with generators that are working after an EMP. So I mean, if an EMP and the Jennies don't work, guys, you need to hop on your bicycle and get as far south through Mexico down into Panama, Colombia, Nicaragua somewhere, and get away from a nuclear reactor. Try to find somewhere, because if that happens, bro, that's gonna be, and it's not just gonna be America. Could you imagine if say a dozen nuclear reactors went critical and melted down in the United States? With the way the jet stream works, it wouldn't take but just a few weeks, and that cloud is gonna
the whole northern hemisphere would be wiped out.
Oh yeah. It'll be
contaminated completely, man. We would literally have to move south for sure. That TV show Jericho really spells it out for everybody. Though we're not ready. We are not set up for any type of situation.
The only remotely safe place to be in a situation like that is going to be on one of the two poles, north or south, or dead on the middle of the equator. With the way the Earth rotates, that's going to be, because the Earth, the clean air, if there is any left, is going to be around the equator. But if you're not on one of the poles, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah. Well, the way the jet stream's been destabilized here lately too. I don't know if y'all paid much attention to the current air currents or the NOAA live weather feeds and stuff like that. I pay attention to a lot of that crap, earthquake predictors and stuff like that. But there's a lot of mixing of the air between the north and southern hemispheres now too.
Yeah.
In different places, since the magnetic poles have shifted so far. They had to rename runways on several airports because magnetic north ain't where it used to be.
Yeah.
So that's how they determine which runway is which. They have numbers, and it's according to their magnetic location. So they had to renumber a bunch of them.
Yeah. We are wobbling like an egg.
Yeah. Yeah. They said.
You know what really bothers me is we all look and see what the future holds, been forgetting about all the shit in the past that we left behind, like all the toxic waste we still haven't found a place for. Obama allowed he canceled the contracts. The power company was paying for a hole to be dug in a mountain all the way to the bottom, and he backed out of that contract. They dug the hole anyway, paid for the hole, and they cannot dump their waste in that hole now, which is full of beautiful, beautiful fresh water.
Yeah.
And it's in a mountain. They thought it would be a secure place to dump our world's toxic waste, I guess, or radioactive waste.
Yeah, they got a lot of that in an atoll down there too. Forgot what island it is. It's down there where they did all those nuclear tests. They got a concrete dome. They keep putting layers on it, and it keeps leaking.
death.
That's eventually going to be,
you know,
a disaster.
I mean, there is no safe place to store nuclear waste on the planet. I mean, so when people say that, I'm like, wow, that's a double negative. That doesn't work. I mean, to me, the only logical way to store it or get rid of it is to get it off the planet. You know what I mean? Put it on a rocket. The toe isn't going to blow up. You know, maybe send it to them or just launch it out into deep space. But then maybe you get an alien planet with it and it blows up and they get mad and they come invade us. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, here's the problem, and I've actually had this conversation with a few people, and uranium and depleted uranium and all this nuclear waste is about the heaviest stuff there is on the planet. And to have enough rocket fuel in a rocket to send any amount of that would make any difference. It's just not a feasible thing. It's just not a thing that could be done. Unless they had some kind of giant slingshot or something. I mean,
well, yeah. My point was that they haven't cured any of the problems we've created in the 20th century. We have never cured the garbage crisis. There's a movie called Idiocracy. I love it because the guy wakes up 500 years into the future and the garbage is piled as tall as the buildings. Because they never solved it.
Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
People are just ignorant, man. It's just like, and we elected these guys. We elected them, and they're just like, whatever.
Yep.
They're making money here, making money off of that guy doing this. They look the other way, and it just stacks up and stacks up. And the mentality as well. The next guy will take care. The next guy will take care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start taking this personal in a minute. If backwoods don't show back up now, I jump on here. He gets off. What's going on?
Well, I know he had some family. His daughter had some company coming over, and his kids had company coming over, and they were doing something with the internet. And I might be helping them out. I sent him a text, but I told you. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just messing with him. He could probably still hear me.
Y'all seen that show, The 100? I think it was on Netflix a while back. Might still be going. But that one, that had some good stuff about, what's going to happen with all the nuclear plants. Give you kind of an idea.
Yeah, that was Cream Fire. That was like my favorite episode when everything just got lit up. And then it skipped over just one little beautiful lush valley. And then what did we do as human beings? We nuked it.
Right.
We didn't nuke the world and destroy it once. We did it twice. Oh, my beard. Come on, man. Really?
And it's in America, too, so USA.
Right. Joe takes place part of it in Washington, D.C., right there in Mount Weather. Remember where the cool dude that ended up getting shot in the head, Grounder, I can't remember his name, but that's where he was from, on D.C. That's all it was. Monument. Go there. Go in. Actually, Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Patricia Carson.
I just got to give Emily L a shout out. I haven't seen her in a while.
She's been busy trying to keep me in line.
Right. But everything's going really good around here, man. I did lose a couple chickens, though. I don't know what got them, if it was a raccoon or what. It could have been a snake, but I put this barrier up around my fence that's supposed to be able to keep them out. They get wrapped up in it like a netting.
Yeah, do you have something to cover over the top? Because I had owls coming around stealing my neighbor's chickens, the big owls.
Yeah, we have owls, too, and they're hanging out. Owls, osprey, and a couple hawks, an eagle.
Yeah, we had one. He come down, and this sucker was probably, I want to say he was at least 3 foot tall. He was a big old owl, man. He come down here and grabbed one of them chickens and decapitated it, and he was dragging it. And the lady let the hounds out, chased the owl off, but he killed the chicken.
I never thought of the owl. I never thought of that because there is one around here. I hear him hooting. And then, Florida owls don't get that big, but it could have killed it. Could have killed a couple chickens within a couple days. And it was always at night. But my chickens, the 6 ones that are left now, I only had a dozen to begin with. The 6 that are left, they've been laying a dozen eggs for me every day.
Wow. That's strong.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Guess they're happy.
I don't know what backwards is doing.
But in the same sense, I lost all of my anything I was trying to grow. Some ate the seeds too, and I came out there and found all these little the peat pellets were all pulled up. So,
Oh man.
well, greenhouse now. I got to do a hoop house, secure it better, so nothing. So it looks like I'm out this year.
Yeah, I have rabbits like crazy over here. The deer don't really try to clear my fence, but the rabbits climb the damn fence. So I got the hoop house up. And that's helped a lot. Yeah.
What size PVC pipe do you use? And if you don't mind me asking, how big is it?
It's 1,000 square feet. It's 14 by 72.
Yeah.
It's made out of the top rail for chain link fence, the steel rail.
Yeah.
And I had to build my own pipe bender because they had them on Amazon, the bootstrap benders, but I didn't know when I was going to get it. And I had to have it, right away. It was in the fall, so I was kind of late getting it going. But so I just made my own. I just calculated out the radius I needed, for my height, so I didn't have to duck down walking through there.
What mill are you using for the plastic?
6 mil from that. Oh heck, I forgot the name of it. Green Farms Plastic or something like that.
Okay.
It's a 6 mil UV coated. No, it's is it 4 year? Yeah, I think it's 4 year guaranteed. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, I got that for, I think it was about $300 for a 100-foot long, piece. So that wasn't too bad.
Okay.
And I use that wiggle wire to pull it tight on the ends. Just basically followed exactly how they show everybody doing them with the ropes across to lash it down.
You got a video?
Yeah, I do actually.
I don't know if I'm sub to you or not.
It's not of me building it. I had already put it up, and then I thought about the video afterwards. It's like how I do most of my projects, it seems like.
Right?
I'll have them either done or halfway done. I'll be like, you know what? I should have made a video. But it does show it. I featured in a video. I think it was either my first video or second video.
All right.
But yeah, it's pretty sturdy. It's held up to a 70-mile-an-hour straight line wind that we had the other day. It knocked a couple of trees over, but my hoop house was still just fine.
Awesome. That's what I want it for, man, to guard the chicken house, So I'm gonna put it like to where it's facing south to north. It's gonna be the ends, and have it the east to the west. My front yard and backyard. My front yard's east, my backyard's west. So I'm perfectly lined up like that. So when the summer sun comes in, it's over in this direction a little bit, in the southern hemisphere, in the summer a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I got mine. I bent the radius, and then I added an extension because of it being a top rail fence. So one side's neck down where it fits inside the other one. Yep. So what I did was I put 3-foot extension straight pieces on the southern side to give that side more wall so it gets more sun in the wintertime on that side. And so that worked out really good all winter, except for the few days that we had that really was 8 degrees here. So for 2 days in a row, and that just wiped everything out. But
I've really been looking into the geodesic dome greenhouses. Like I think Prepper Nurse 1 has a geodesic dome.
Those are cool. They're cool to look at, but I'll tell you what's wrong with them. It's the headspace. With these kind of greenhouses, you do not want it taller than it has to be because it's just wasted space, and all your heat goes to the top, away from your plants. So the lower you can make it, the better. That's what I hear people in construction tell me is the dome concept is you lose square footage. Right.
You're kind of defeating yourself here. So it's not futuristic as much as it is just.
It's cool to look at, though.
Right.
It looks cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my neighbor has one. She has she actually lives in a geodesic dome.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got that soccer ball look to it. You know, and it came as a kit and it took her about a year to build it.
Now, see, that's something I was thinking about doing too, and because they're structurally very strong, you know. And I've seen these guys do foamcrete. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yep.
Where they, so what they do is they'll make a geodesic dome and cover it with this heavy duty plastic, and then just spray foamcrete over the top of it. They'll just have a pumper truck come in and just spray the whole thing down with foamcrete, and they'll put it on there about 4 or 5 inches thick, and it's pretty insulating, and it's strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend that lived in a roundhouse, a geodesic dome house, and it was really cool. It's really neat, but my issue with it, or the one thing I didn't like about it, is on the inside. You got to get real creative on how you because
Yeah.
I mean, there are no right angles. The only right angles in it are the ones that you make on the inside, and it's a 2-dimensional right angle. You know, by that I mean where your wall touches the wall of the house is not a right angle; it's a radius. So the only right angle is at the end of the wall that you're building. And so it's like it destroys square footage. I mean, like say your bedroom, unless depending on the radius and how you're coming up, it's like. I'm 6'2". I can't upright walk straight to the window. I'd have to bend over, you know what I mean? So you're losing a lot of square footage. And as it goes up, if you have a second floor, it's basically like a ring that goes around, the outside. It's just really, to me, it's inefficient as far as livable space on the inside, but it's very efficient as far as being, structurally sound in tornadoes and hurricanes and windstorms and things like that. I mean, the load that you can put on it is just insane. But it's not human friendly on the inside to live in it. You know what I mean? It's just a weird concept. It's like even the kitchen, you literally can't use the perimeter walls effectively. You can't slide a refrigerator up against an exterior wall. You can't. You have to build a wall out from it to do.
Yeah, big old space in the back.
Well, yeah, you bring it into the interior walls. That's where you're putting all your square stuff, your cabinets, all that deal, the counters and stuff. You have to do everything on the interior. But you ever heard of Jock Fresco? He was a guy down here in Florida. He ran the what is it called? Oh, the Venus Project.
I've heard.
He was a socialist. He was a self-proclaimed socialist with his concepts, but he was always pushing the dome concept, and we could come out of it. We've trained ourselves to live the way we do in society. This is why we act this way. We didn't act this way 100 years ago. We act this way now. We've never acted this way in history.
Yeah.
British people in actual right in the downtown area of Britain, they don't act like the outskirts of Britain, the mutts, and we are nothing but a nation of mutts. So we act the way we were programmed, basically through our culture, the way they pushed us and conditioned us here and there. And that's what he was saying. We can actually recondition ourselves in a different mantra and live in a futuristic society, a socialist society, which everybody said it never will work. It'll never work. You'll always get one guy in there. There will always be one guy.
Wasn't there a deal talking about making those cities underwater and those dome cities underwater and all that?
Yep.
No, they actually did that. They actually built those, I think, off the coast of California somewhere. They did a lot of scientific testing, and they did a lot of pre-astronaut training and manned mission to Mars training. And they also did the deep water saturation diving training over there because they were planning to sink a massive base, on the ocean floor, several hundred feet down, if not, 1,000 or more feet down, and have people live there for an extended period of time, mining the ocean.
That sounds like a movie.
Right, like everybody else is waiting on Star Trek and Star Wars to happen. I'm waiting on Sequest.
I mean, I don't even know why we're exploring space. We haven't even looked at the whole planet yet.
Why would you spend billions of dollars researching how to, geoengineer Mars and engineer a climate and terraform a planet when you can't even fix this one? Fix it here first. Give me a
Hey, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for, China just sent their little Mars rover up there too.
Oh yeah.
So I'm waiting for them to have little battle bots on Mars, man. That'll be awesome.
I did not realize how long they've been a superpower.
Oh yeah. They're just quiet.
Yeah. And then Pakistan and all those. I didn't realize what year it was that Israel got it before, the rest of these Western countries did.
Yeah. It's things are changing.
Yep.
Well, guys, we're looking at 3.5 hours. I am. I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. We're starting to drop people in the chat.
Yeah, it's getting pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah. Holiday weekend, but I want to thank everybody for stopping out backwoods. I hope you're good. Give me a holler when you get back on. But I'm gonna go grab me a bite to eat and do a little relaxing, see if maybe somebody else is up chatting where I can listen to some stuff. But I wanted to thank everybody for stopping in, everybody in the chat. Appreciate it so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing a few of you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with a live canning. We're going to be canning Ghee. And then Sunday night we'll be with Backwoods on his channel at 8 o'clock. So, you guys got any questions? Yeah. And I will talk to you later.
Bye, y'all.
Good man.